Okay, boys and girls, it's time for us to review the letter that we learned yesterday. What letter is this? It is the letter C, and this character is Mr. C. He's wearing a colossal cap, which means that it is huge. There's an uppercase C for the beginnings of names, like we have Case in our classroom. His name begins with a C. On the back, there's a lowercase c, which looks exactly the same. It's just a little bit smaller. That's for regular words like cat, crayon, car, color. All right, so we have our book for the letter C. This book is called Copycats. There's an uppercase C and a lowercase c, and there is our title, Copycats. We're going to listen for things that begin with the k sound. Clyde and Cleo are cats, copycats. I bet you can't do what I can do, says Clyde. I can too, says Cleo. I can do a cartwheel, says Clyde. Can you? I can too, says Cleo. I can ride a camel, says Cleo. Can you? I can too, says Clyde. I can bake a coconut cake, says Clyde. Can you? I can too, says Cleo. I can build a castle, says Cleo. Can you? I can too, says Clyde. They're copying each other, trying to do the same thing. I can grow carrots, corn, and cabbages, says Clyde. Can you? I can too, says Cleo. I can carry a cup of cocoa on my head, says Cleo. Can you? I can too, says Clyde. Look out for the car, yells Cleo. Clyde crashes into Cleo. The cups crash to the ground. Oh, they've got a huge mess. Clyde looks at Cleo. Cleo looks at Clyde. They are both covered in cocoa. I can stop being a copycat, says Clyde. Can you? I can too, says Cleo. All right, boys and girls, now if you look at this page, they want us to find things that begin with the letter C, or the k sound. When we are all here at school together, I'll let you take turns coming up and showing me. But for right now, you look with your eyes, and I'll point out things that I see. Well, I see a camel. Camel begins with the k sound, and so does the camera that's on his neck. I see clouds up in the sky. Clouds begin with a C. So does a canoe and a cake. Clyde and Cleo begin with a C. Also, we could call them cats, which would begin with a C. I see a cup. I see a carrot on the ground. I think those look like little corn cobs maybe. And there's also some corn on the table. Corn begins with the letter C. Then if I look back here, it's going to tell me whether or not I found them all, so I'm going to double check. Cats, canoe, cup, corn, carrot, cake, camel, camera, and clouds. The only thing we missed were the caps on their head. Caps begins with the letter C. All right, then at the back of our book there is a poem or a cheer for the letter C. It says C is for cat, C is for cap, C is for carrot, crayon, and clap. C is for camel, cow, cup, and car. C is for cookies in a jar. Hooray for C, big and small, the coolest, craziest letter of all. All those things begin with our letter C. All right, boys and girls, I want you to get out your workbook where you have the letter pages. This should be the second page in your workbook. The first page is the one we did yesterday where we were coloring things that begin with a C sound. Today we're going to practice writing the letter C. All right, you're going to need your pencil. I'm going to use a marker so that you can see it better on my paper, but you use a pencil in case you make a mistake. Then you can erase it. There's a spot for your name. If you can write your name, go ahead and put it up there at the top. If you need help, a grown-up could highlight it for you and you could trace it, or they could put some dots down and you could trace it. Make sure you've got one uppercase letter at the beginning and the rest are lowercase. All right, let's start off using our finger. For the letter C, we start near the top of the line and we just curve around and touch the bottom, and then we stop. Do not close it. Leave a little open space. For the lowercase c, we start on the dotted line, curve around and down, then stop. All right, now take your pencil and try it, even until it shows you where to start. You're gonna start right there next to the number 1. Curve up, around, down to the bottom, and stop. Lowercase c, curve up and around to the bottom and stop. Make sure you leave that open space. We don't want to close it. It's not a 0 or the letter O. All right, and then that's what we're going to do for today. We're just going to slowly trace and practice our C's. So they did the first one. Now we're going to trace a row of uppercase C's. Take your time. Go slowly. Try to stay near their dots. And if you make a mistake, you've got an eraser on your pencil. You can fix it, no problem. We are practicing, so just take your time and go slow. We're still learning. After you write that whole, or trace that whole row of uppercase C's, then you're going to write a row. I'm just going to show you. I'm not going to do all of them because I want you to take your time and practice. But you're going to do a whole row of uppercase C's. Then you're going to trace this row of lowercase C's where we're going to start at the dotted line, curve around to the bottom and stop. You're going to do that whole row with your pencil. You don't have to do it right now. I'm just showing you what to do. Then you'll do another whole row by yourself, lowercase c, starting at the dotted line, curve around at the bottom and stop. Then boys and girls, for the last one, they're going to do uppercase, lowercase, like a big C and then a little c. And you're going to do that. And then you will do that on the bottom row, uppercase, lowercase, uppercase, lowercase. All right, I don't want to do the whole thing because I want you to take your time and practice your C's. When you are finished with this page, leave it in your workbook. Do not tear it out or throw it away, because later on I'm going to be collecting your work so that I can see it and look over it. So just leave it in your workbook when you are finished. Take your time, do a whole row of uppercase, tracing, then a row by yourself. Tracing a row of lowercase, then a row by yourself. Then uppercase, lowercase, uppercase, lowercase. All right, take your time. Oh, the lights just went out. That must mean it's time to finish our lesson. That happens sometime at school when we don't get up and move around a whole lot, the lights will go off for a minute. And then when I move around, they come back on. All right, boys and girls, take your time and work on your C's. I'll see you later.